I really like Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and especially I'm impressed by the post-launch support that keeps the game exciting long after its release with big new features and content to play. There's one thing though that does not really work that well and actually makes it less fun to do all the weekly activities that reward you with Orichalcum. I of course always try my luck at the end of these videos, and we'll do that again in this video to try and get the freaking Hades Lieutenant, but I still don't have him, and I started opening gifts a few months ago. So yes, that's pretty insane, right? And really shows you as well that the equals of the Olympians need an improvement, and I think I got a pretty simple idea on how to make it better, and I want to discuss that in this video, and I'm of course also curious to hear your thoughts on how the system works right now. So let's get into it. If you enjoyed that, then a like would be super appreciated, and let's go. Before we start, I want to remind you that I'm doing a giveaway right now for the upcoming Shark Pack. You can enter via the link in the description down below and also in the pinned comment. And I will select a random winner when the pack goes live and send that person a gift card for their platform of choice, so they are then able to download the pack. So just a nice way for you to not have to pray to Sargon for once. Because you likely already know this guy, right? He has its own shop that you can find over here on the map, and only wants Orichalcum that you can spend on a weekly selection of random epic items or a special helix item that is different every week. You can also try your luck at the Olympian gifts and hope that you get a special item from the helix store, and that is overall the purpose of this store, to give you a chance to earn an armor set, weapon, mount or naval content that Ubisoft adds post-launch that you can also buy with real-world money. And let's get one thing out of the way first. I don't mind them adding these packs, okay? Maybe the price of $10 or sometimes even $15 is a little too high, but since they also give a lot of content away for free as well, I don't mind them charging for something. We now have 6 Lost Tales of Greece missions since launch that all last like 45 minutes, 2 awesome new boss fights, and many great features like the visual customization system that let us wear what we want without impacting our stats, or the new mastery level system that gives us more way to build our character. And there's no sign of it stopping as well, with New Game Plus coming really soon and way more quality of life improvements coming our way. It's very uncommon that a single player game gets so much support after launch, so I totally applaud Ubisoft for that. And sure, not all the new content is as exciting, like the epic events where we have to defeat a mercenary or ship. That is no challenge at all and always the same. Could use some more variety for sure. But by completing these events, you get the Orichalcum for this equal store. Just like by doing the weekly quests that have you kill specific targets or kill enemies in a certain way. Then there's also a daily quest each day for this resource, and that's everything you can do right now to get Orichalcum. So Ubisoft is already making sure that you can only get a set amount of Orichalcum per week, so that you can't like farm one specific activity in the game and then end up with a ton of Orichalcum that you can spend in this store. No, you can only get like 150, 140 Orichalcum per week. And the idea of the Eagle Store is great. It's a way for you to get a helix item without spending money. But the reality is now far worse though, because it's close to impossible to get the item you want, because there's so much crap in these gifts, and it will only get worse as time goes on. Of course, how it works is that you mostly get epic items that you can also find in the world or loot from targets, stuff like that, and then like every 6th roll, 5th roll, something like that is an item from the helix store. And Ubisoft keeps adding these items to the helix store, of course, and then they also immediately come in these gifts. So that means on one day that there could be 11 new items in the helix store, so also in these gifts, and this happens almost every other week. So that means that the chance to get that one item that you want now is way lower, because there's a lot of other stuff that you can also get instead. So that on paper already sounds pretty bad as time goes on. But then Ubisoft also added blue pre-order items from retailers and even pizza rolls to the game that then also found their way into these Olympian gifts, decreasing your chance for that one thing that you want even more, but also the idea that you can get a blue item that counts as a legendary roll really sucks. I really think that these blue items and some epic items from the deluxe edition pack they also added to the helix store later have no place in these gifts to begin with. We even now 2 times had a blue item as a weekly item, a prime example of how broken this system can be. Sure, these items come with a unique look that you can then wear over your current gear, but like nobody is spending time collecting these ores for a chance to get a blue item. No, it's for a chance to get the cool Pegasus mount or the Bull mount. but the chance is getting lower and lower as time goes on, making the ecos way less exciting in the process. They also one time sold a duplicate item that was already in the weekly selection 2 months before that. So we have like around the 4 of these weekly selection items per month, and if one of them is an item that you could already buy before, then that eliminates already 1 week of that full month and totally kills the fun. But yeah, the prime example of how broken this system is of course my hunt for the Hades Lieutenant. It started out as a joke, but now months and many gifts later, I still don't have this lieutenant. While the chance to get him for me is actually super high, since I own most of the Helix Store items, and that means that you can't get them out of an Olympian gift anymore. And this is just one item. Imagine wanting a full legendary armor set of 5 different pieces, or a full naval set with a ship design, a figurehead and a crew team. Well, good luck with that, while your odds are only getting lower as time goes on. Dylan, a moderator over on the Assassin's Creed Reddit, did some calculations based on it being like a 1 to 6 chance to get a legendary item. You already saw some German footage from Lord Ludomi, who tries his luck at these gifts as well and opened 50 of them in one go and has the same kind of 1 to 6 rate. So with that you would need 510 pulls to get every item from the Helix Store at the time of the post from Dylan. Right now it's even more, thanks to new items being added. So to get the Orichalcum to be able to open that many Olympian gifts, it would take 72 weeks of you doing all the weekly contracts and daily quests. And will Ubisoft even support the game for that long with new weekly contracts and stuff like that? So that is just crazy. And again, the chances will only go down as more items are being added to these gifts. And what is also interesting, as we see in the footage from Lord Ludomi, is that he mostly gets naval items. Stuff that is obviously less exciting since most of your time is spent on the ground. But it seems like these items have a higher drop chance from these gifts, as they seem to appear more often than the cool gear pieces or weapons, let alone the awesome mounts that you really want. And don't get me wrong, I like the idea of the Olympian gifts, like in general, to test your luck for one of these items, because every time I see a tweet from someone saying that they got the bull mount, you know that they are happy, and that is when this system really shines. But this is so few and far between, and it's only getting worse. It is good to note that Ubisoft will increase your Orichalcum gain for all the sources by 10% if you reach the new mercenary rank that will launch soon. So this only really applies to people that got to level 80 or something like that to be able to reach this mercenary rank, but it does increase the amount of ores that you can get a little bit. The hard mode mythical creatures that should be planned in the future also drop this rare resource, adding another source for it. So that is nice to see, but again, if the chance is really small that you get something you want, then why even care about the Orichalcum at that point? I really think that the major issue is that there's just too much crap in these gifts, that even when you get a Helix Store item, it has a high chance of being something blue or for your ship, so something that you don't really want. While the epic items that you get way more often are already like the crappy things that you want, so then you want that Helix Store drop to be super significant. A solution would be, in my opinion, to make multiple gifts available at Sargon, like have him sell one that only has legendary gear, weapons and mounts, one gift that only has the naval stuff, and one gift that has the blue items for people that want those unique looks, or just remove these blue items altogether. Come on, it's not why we collect Orichalcum. If you have these multiple gifts, then you at least as the player have some sort of choice as to where you want to spend your ore, and more chance to get cool items that you really want. And with this system, every time a Helix item appears, it is something that has value for your collection. I think an extra item in the weekly selection instead of just having one already comes a long way as well. Like sell one cool legendary item and maybe just put another blue item in there too. Do that as a secondary item. Or 2 Helix items per week would of course be better as well. Then people will really do the daily way more often to make sure that they got enough ore to buy everything that Sargon is selling. I totally get why Ubisoft doesn't want to make it extremely easy to get a new armor set or mount, because otherwise people would not buy it, and those transactions are needed, so it makes way more sense for Ubisoft to support this game the way they do right now. But I still think though that even with this solution, it is far from ideal deal to get the new armor set or weapons or mounts from these gifts, but there's just a way more rewarding structure with a higher chance overall to get at least some items that you want. Well, as noted many times before, it will only get worse from now. So let's hope that Ubisoft takes a look at this system and at least makes the chance to get something you really want higher overall. I really don't mind how they're going to do it, but I at least hope that they take a look at this system and make the odds a little more in our favor instead of it getting worse and worse and worse and worse. So let's see what Ubisoft does, or if they will do anything at all. I will of course keep you up to date here on everything Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Totally subscribe to stay up to date, like the video to support the channel. And now, speaking of the devil, let's try and test our luck ourselves on these Olympian gifts to see if we can finally get the Hades Lieutenant. Would of course be fun if I now got the Hades Lieutenant after critiquing this system, but let's try our luck. Sargon, are you ready? Because I am. Come on. Come on. Of course not. Conqueror's Greaves, Warrior, full health, low health. No, I don't want those low health perks. Although, if you got like a cool low health build. Oh. Why am I missing everything? Thanks, Sixth Sense. If you got a cool low health build, I totally want to see that. That would be a warrior build, right? That would be awesome, by the way. Oh, I think I'm in my warrior, in my hunter gear. So make sure that I kill this girl with my bow and arrow. But yeah, this week is going to be exciting. I really think that Tuesday will be the New Game Plus mode patch. I still am, of course, not 100% sure, but I want to like make a video as soon as they announce the date. Just a quick one saying, hey, then it will be live. They likely announced the date like one week before. Now it's getting crazy. Okay, I'm just going to end the video, but don't forget to check out the giveaway again in the pinned comment. Subscribe for everything Odyssey. Check out my recent video on a really cool, awesome build, and I will speak to you next time. Goodbye.